If you can't see us, that's okay. But this is Pat Langdon.
Danny Boyce.
Terry Howell.
And we are here at the Wild Goose in downtown Willoughby for the Willoughby South High School Football Preview Show. Round number 7 of our football preview shows. Terry?
We're at the extra point.
We are at the extra point.
Yeah, we are.
That's right.
And they have a pretty good kicker, so I'm pretty sure it'll be good.
All right, so Terry, why don't you give them a little taste of what's going on down there at Willoughby South?
I will do so. The Rebels are in the Western Reserve Conference. They're coming off a very uncharacteristically poor 1-9 season last year. They have 12 playoff appearances in school history: 1980, 1986, 1996, 2001, 2004, 2005, 2008, 2010, 11, 12, 13, and 14. Overall playoff record 7-12. They were the Division II state runner-up in 1986. They went 13-1 that year and lost to undefeated Cincinnati Purcell Marion 26-17. Head coach is Matt Duffy. He's completed 15 seasons with the Rebels. He is the winningest coach in school history with 103 victories against 58 losses, a playoff record of 2-8. His record versus their rival East Lake North, 14-1. They're currently riding a 13-game winning streak in the rivalry. Assistant coaches Scott Pavelko, Nick Tamba, Kyle Menn, Rich Ward, Gary White, Tom Gibbons, Eli Kovac. Key returning players, to my right here, Drew Shepler, senior wide receiver, defensive back. Danny Gallagher, junior wide receiver. Xavier McCreary, junior left tackle. Rico Small, junior DB. Key matchup, I'm going to call it the rivalry game, Week 5 against East Lake North. A couple of Rebels who've played in the NFL. Currently, Kareem Hunt with the Kansas City Chiefs. And also from South in the NFL, Howie Kernick played for the Cincinnati Bengals in 1979.
So, without further ado, we are joined by Drew Shepler. I know this is
tight end, defensive end, right. Senior tight end, defensive end.
This is going to come as a shocker here,
but I know him.
Yeah.
Drew, thank you for taking a couple of minutes to talk to us. Tell us a little bit about the Willoughby South offense as it starts cooking here for 2018.
We've got some guys returning. Me, Rico Small at receiver, Xavier Hops at receiver, Danny Gallagher, the other receiver. New quarterback this year. He's a junior, but he's been looking pretty good this summer at practice.
What's his name?
Justin Grossel.
Justin Grossel.
He's a junior. He's been getting a lot better at practice. And linemen, we've got some linemen returning. Michael Raymer, John Susnick, Xavier McCrary. He sticks with us. Might be moving. We don't know yet.
Oh, okay.
But in our linemen, we got some big guys. We got some good size. And feeling pretty good about it.
Well, coming off of a rough season, what is it going to take for you guys as far as being the seniors? You guys are the leaders of the team. What's it going to take for you guys to get the younger guys up and get back to a better, back to what you guys are more accustomed to down there over there at South?
I think we just got to learn to play hard all the time. Have fun with it. Just not, we're gonna get down. That happens, but we got to bounce back.
So, Drew, you played defensive end and tight end. You have a favorite side of the ball to play on?
I like tight end.
Okay.
It's a new thing. Previous years, I've played wide out and safety, and corner safety. So defensive end, that's a new thing for me. But I like it.
Okay. And historically, you guys have always featured a pretty good running game.
Yeah.
But even when you had Kareem back there and when my nephew was there, you had Deontay Odom, a couple of other really nice backs over the years. You guys have always thrown the ball around. There's always been a pretty good balance, even though there's been a feature in the running game. So you're pretty comfortable in that. Obviously, playing tight end, you're getting an opportunity to help that running game, but also stretch the field a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, what have your now you being a senior, what have your years been? How would you describe your experience at South and going through the program now for 4 years, being in your 4th year now? How would you describe it?
I love it. I mean, football is really fun. This is my 3rd year on varsity, and I mean, we haven't been in the playoffs when I've been at South. So winning wise, we haven't been that great, but I mean, the whole experience, I enjoy it, even when we lose. I like playing.
So are you looking to play at the next level?
No, not really.
No. You're going to go to school though somewhere?
Yeah.
So what do you want to study when you go to school?
I'm leaning toward engineering,
Good choice. Which any particular field in there?
chemical maybe.
That's a very good choice.
Mm-hmm.
Very good choice. I work with several chemies where I'm working, so
Yeah.
we'll keep you in mind. Definitely keep you in mind. Trust me, we'll be looking for young engineers. Believe me.
Sounds good.
So, Drew, coming off of a difficult season, what are you and the other seniors? What have you guys been trying to do to keep guys focused and try to get things started on a little bit better roll this year than where you guys ended up last year?
Our lifts this year during the whole off season, we started lifting in December. They've been a lot. We got a new program, and we're really getting at it this year. A lot of messing around in the weight room last year, and this year our attendance is way better, I think, than it's ever been when I've been there, at least. Mm-hmm. And our summer lifts and camps, we've really been bringing it. I mean, we don't do that much. Like, I don't think the work we do is that hard, but when we do it, we really bring it and go 100% every time.
And the change in the program, was that brought on by a new strength coach, or was that brought on by just things hadn't quite been going the right way the last couple of years, so it was time to make some changes?
Yeah. No new strength coach.
Okay. Danny, you want to ask your question?
Okay, yeah, that's the one I usually ask them. Obviously, you got football, you got studies, and wanting to be an engineer. I know it's time consuming. I do the field myself. But what do you like to do in your free time when you're not on the football field, you're not in the classroom, you're not hitting the books? What do you like to do when you're just unwinding?
I like hanging out at home a lot. Play video games.
Would one of them happen to be Fortnite?
Yeah,
I was good.
it's a good
That
guess.
tends to be the
That
popular.
pretty much goes without saying.
Yep, that
Yeah.
pretty much has been the consensus that I've noticed.
So I'm going to ask the final question here, Drew. What would be a successful season for not only you personally, but for the team as a whole?
I really want to make the playoffs. Haven't been there the whole 4 years I've been at South. 3 years, haven't been there, and that'd be a great experience. Make it to week 11.
Well, we wish you the very best of luck, young man. It was good seeing you.
Drew, thank you very much.
Best
you
of
for
luck.
having me.
Good luck to you, Drew.
Thank you for taking
Thanks
some
for being
time
here.
with us.
Send the next one down. Drew
I think they're
Shepherd.
going to go
Yeah.
player, coach is how we're going to alternate it. So
All I can tell you guys that are watching, we're having, obviously with the background, the way that it is, we're doing the best we can with the video. Hopefully the audio is good, which is really the important thing.
Yep.
And
So
stick with us. We appreciate it.
We're better heard, not seen anyway.
Yes,
So.
exactly. I could turn the camera off and it would be probably better.
there you go.
Okay,
There
and
you
we are
go.
joined with.
Hello, guys. Coach Tamba.
Coach, how are you?
Great.
So
And-
Coach Tamba is a defensive coordinator, correct?
Yes, sir.
And how long have you been at South, Coach?
This is going into my third season at Willoughby South.
Okay.
Okay, so obviously last year you guys didn't have that great a year. What's it going to take from your side of the ball, on that defensive side? What's it going to take to, to actually get it to improvement? Drew made a comment. One of his goals is he'd like to reach the playoffs. What's it going to take for
Absolutely.
you guys? What's it going to take for you guys to get to that step and get to week 11?
What it's going to take for us defensively, we have goals. We have about 9 of them posted up. Number one goal is to allow less than 17 points because offensively we feel like we can always put up at least 28 points. So that's our goal. We want to win on 3rd and long. Goal is to win 3rd down 66% of the time. There's a bunch of data and stats and figures that we have for it. So stuff like that. But defensively, we just got to talk. We just got to be fast. We got to play as a team, got to play as a unit, 11 as one, and go out there and play fast and just, have fun.
Who are some of the guys on the defensive side of the ball that you're looking to this coming season to provide leadership as you move forward?
The young man that you just talked with by the name of Drew Shepler. He's a returning defensive starter for us. Actually played safety the year before. Now he is moving to our strong side defensive end. And then our other guy that you are going to talk with, too, his name is Cameron Von Segrin, and he's a returning safety. And Tony D'Alfredi's here, who's a returning backer. And we have a defensive end and a defensive tackle. It's going to be senior Joe is here, too, as well. So have a lot of guys that are back. So we're happy about it. The guys are smart because they are playing in the same system for year 3, and it's going along quick. It's going along fast, and guys are looking to go out there and play hard and physical and fast and tackle guys and have fun and chew them up, spit them out kind of deal.
So you mentioned a couple of the numbers earlier, looking at winning third down and, looking at percentages and that. Obviously, an analytical side to things, these guys like to pick on me for being the type of analyst like that as well. How deeply do you guys look in that when you're talking through meetings, just coaches meetings and that? I'm sure you're not trying to overwhelm the kids with all the numbers and everything, just trying to get them to understand the schemes. But you guys looking at it, how much of that becomes a discussion in the meetings?
Oh, that's a ton of it. Saturdays, we all wake up at about 6 o'clock in the morning. We're watching film. We're putting in down and distance and the hash and where it's at, what they are in, if they're in pro, if they're in con, if they're in the trips, if they're in, this or that. And the data gets finished, started on Saturday morning when we get in around like 7:30-ish. And usually I go home around, on a good day when it's quick, 1. Usually I'm home by 3. And then I will go home and eat, and then I'll go back on and watch a little bit more. And then the coaches and I will also meet on Sunday to just look at it all, spread it out, and then kind of see what is the most important thing for us to share with them as the guys, kids, and the players. So we do a lot, and then we also have a final meeting here too. Mondays, coaches meet Mondays from like 6 to about 7 o'clock to just kind of wrap up things, and then we just go out there and practice on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, go out and play on Friday night. See what happens.
Coach, I've seen a decent amount of Rebel football over the years. My nephew played for Coach Duff. He was a class of 06.
Okay.
And as high-powered as the offenses have been over the years, the hallmark of that Rebel defense, though, has always been the linebackers.
Yeah.
What would you say is the strongest group that you have coming back this year on the defensive side of the ball?
The strongest group has got to be that. We have Tony and Cameron, both of them, back. Cameron is going to play our Sam, which we call a bear, and Tony is playing Mike. And then Will, we have 2 seniors that are fighting for it with 2 pretty good sophomores as well. Okay. So we have about 5 healthy Mikes, Wills, and Sams out there that we think will be tough and good.
And a little bit of depth with some of the younger guys in that mix.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. Helps us out a lot.
So you guys, clearly, obviously 17 points is a pretty challenging goal, even in the modern game.
Yep.
In the modern game of football and all that. So, what are your reasonable, what would be a reasonable display? Say you don't get to, let's say you give up 20 instead of 17 or something.
Yeah.
Is there a reasonable way of trying to, the way you keep that in mind? Yeah.
The countering part comes on how many times we force the offense to give us the football back. That was one thing that Cameron and Drew actually led us. Drew picks, I believe he had 5, and he forced 2 fumbles as well. And Cameron picks, he had 3. So both of them are just good at hawking around the ball and ripping it out, stripping it out, going for a pick and going for a move. So
what is What would you consider your biggest rival as the season is about to unfold? I mean, obviously, East Lake North is a huge
East Lake
rival.
North is a huge one. That's actually where I graduated from. I actually coached there for a little bit of time. So then I went on and coached at Beechwood, coached at Orange, and then Coach called me up, and I think it was the winter of 2015, and now I'm here. And friends of mine kind of laughed, and I had a couple jokes and stuff that the guys would say, but Willoughby South is great. Love it here. Rival for sure. North is huge, and then the rest of the conference, we just take it week by week, game by game, and plan as we do.
So ultimately, what would be your best case scenario for the team by the time this season's over? What would you like? I mean, realistically, is the best case scenario. Obviously, best case would be 15-0,
Yeah.
state champs and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But what do you think would be a realistic, reasonable best case scenario?
Realistic, and the best case is that every single player is healthy, smart, having fun, and we're playing in week 11 and see what happens.
Well, it sounds like you guys have your work cut out for you, and it sounds like you guys are well on your way with this off-season program. We appreciate you taking a little bit of time here and coming up here and letting everybody know about the Rebel defense.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much, Coach.
Good time. Good luck, Coach.
Thank you very much, Coach.
Pat. We can find a way to put it up and not stop. There's no shots. Okay. All right. So who do we have coming up here next? Joe. Okay, Joe Lang.
Joe
Okay.
Lang, all right.
That's the thing, Terry. The audio is really good,
Yes.
and we're just kind of all over the place.
I
with
just
this camera.
every time we stop and restart, though, we
Yeah.
lose people in the
Yeah.
exchange, and I don't want to
Yeah.
I don't want to risk that.
I hear you.
So
Okay, so now we're joined by senior defensive lineman, offensive lineman Joe Lang. Joe, how you doing?
Good. How about yourself?
Good. So now this is you're senior now. It's your fourth year.
Yep.
How would you describe your experience at South with the program and playing for Coach Duffy?
We've always been a family, and like we've all built a brotherhood. We're all good friends.
Joe, can you talk a little bit about you mentioned family, and I know from when my nephew played here, the PFF. Can you tell people a little bit about or FPF what that is and what that means to you guys as players here?
It's focus, passion, finish, and like that's one of the big things we go by here at South. Another big thing this year is 4 to 6, A to B. The coaches bring that up a lot in practice.
Okay, so what is 4 to 6, A to B?
Get your destination as quick as possible, basically.
Oh, okay.
So, what position do you play?
I'm a D tackle. I three technique and 2 and then I also play left guard and right guard.
So, from an offensive perspective, besides yourself, who else on the offensive line are you guys looking to kind of anchor what you guys want to do offensively?
So last year we have 2 returning linemen from last year, Michael Raymer and John Susnick. They did pretty good for us last year. Michael started all 10 games last year, and John rotated a lot.
And what does the backfield look like behind you?
Our quarterback is going to be pretty good. I have a good feeling about him, and our running back. We have 2 running backs, Deshad and Matt Gast. I think Matt Gast is a senior too. I think he's going to be pretty good this year.
Okay. Yeah, Rebel offense has always featured a pretty good back. Again, everybody knows Kareem, but go back through the years, there's always been 1, if not 2 good backs back there. But again, you guys have always found a way to throw the ball around the yard a little bit too. You've always had wide receivers who, have been able to impact the game, and people kind of get lulled into that.
Yeah.
We want to run the ball. We want to run the ball. What drives you guys in terms of what you want to do offensively?
I mean, just the way our pace is. We're a fast-paced offense. We like to get down the field. Yeah.
Okay.
And we have 2 good receivers, Danny and Rico. I think they're going to be very good for us this year.
Okay.
So when you're not, do you have any ambitions of playing beyond the high school level here?
Of course. I don't know. I'm undecided right now. I don't know where I would go, but
Okay. Have you gotten any looks or any offers or?
Well, I talked to Walsh, and I've been to a lot of camps this off season.
Okay.
I haven't really got much talk to yet, but Walsh talked to me.
Okay.
From a offensive line perspective, again, what do you feel you bring to the table that helps your offense?
I've been rotating as an offensive lineman since my sophomore year. So I know a little bit around.
So experience a
Yeah.
little bit, yeah.
What's your favorite thing to do in your free time when you don't have football or school to worry about? What do you like to do?
I love lifting and playing Fortnite. Those are two of my
There you
favorite
go.
things.
Do you know anybody at your school or anywhere that doesn't play Fortnite?
Everyone plays
Because we're going to
Fortnite.
do a show. If we can find that person, we're going to have them on to have do their own show.
There's so many players that play Fortnite.
Yeah. I think we can turn that into its own show, a Fortnite edition.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate you taking a couple of minutes. I know you guys have had practice and other things that are going on this summer, but we appreciate you taking a couple of minutes to talk to us here on TalkBack Fans.
Good,
So
thanks for having me.
good luck.
All right,
This
good luck.
Good luck this
Good
season.
to meet you. Good luck to you, Joe.
Thank you.
Good luck, man. Good luck. All right.
All right, that was Joe Lang, senior offensive lineman, defensive lineman. I believe we're going to get one of the coaches next, which I'm going to guess will be the defensive coordinator. No,
We had
wrong.
the defense coordinator.
Or the offensive coordinator, but no, this is the acting special teams coach, Rich Ward.
All right.
Special teams coach, Danny.
One of my guys. Yep.
We should just have you guys talk.
And Danny was a special teamer in his day,
Okay.
coach.
Yes.
All right, good.
He's
Yeah.
special in
He
a lot
played.
of other ways,
He
too.
played
so.
without a helmet, though.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes you kind of need to do that.
That's right. That's right.
You know, first, I mean, you know as well as anybody that you got to have a bit of a screw loose to play special teams
That's right.
because you're flying. It's literally where all the wide open stuff is.
Exactly. Especially in kickoff, those guys got to be a little bit nuts to
Yes.
what they do. That's for sure.
So tell us a little bit about your kicking game as you go into the soon to be no longer the off season.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. I can't believe it's here already, man. Well, we just we dedicate so much time each practice. 25 minutes, half hour. We'll hit one individual special teams that day. The other day we were doing field goal, extra point stuff. So we had the same kicker coming back this year, and he's been doing a fantastic job for us. So
What's his name?
it's Dom. You have to ask head coach out his last name. I don't think I can pronounce it.
Okay. Is he a soccer player by chance?
He
too?
was a soccer player.
Yes, you guys have always had good
Yeah.
kickers, I think, because you've always had pretty solid soccer programs
Correct.
too. So
Correct.
it's nice you get that kid who can play both sports
Correct.
and really helps you out in that specialist role. So.
Right. Yeah. So he actually ended up quitting soccer. He
Oh wow. Okay. So he's only a football player now.
Only
Okay.
football now, and he's hitting every camp that he can go to. He really enjoys the family orientation that we have with the team and stuff. So he,
You can make a good college
yeah,
and a good living kicking if you can do it.
absolutely. So we keep trying to get him down inside the 10-yard line. Inside the 5 would be perfect for him. He's not really one of the big guys, but for a little guy, he can get the ball down the field. So we're really excited for him this year.
And you coach the D-line a little bit as well, Coach?
Yes. Actually, I came in more a D-line coach. I'm actually in my 14th season with Coach Duffy. So,
Okay.
I came in as D-line, and I've always helped out with special teams. I was field goal snapper, long snapper myself when I was playing, so I kind of just took to it. So
Where did you play at?
I'm a graduate of Willoughby South here.
What year?
So I graduated in 92.
Okay.
Okay.
So, yeah, I've been here 14 years, and mainly D-line, but kind of family stuff for us. Awards are – I got my oldest is helping coach this year, and my youngest is a junior playing for us. So.
Okay. Well, that's great.
Yeah,
Get to
so
coach
it's
your son, so that's good.
it was a lot of fun getting to coach the kids. All
What
through.
does your son play that's playing for you now?
He's gonna be a junior. He's a wide receiver.
Wide receiver.
So just turned 16, 6'4". So we got to get some weight on him. Get him in a weight room. But
He can have some of mine.
yeah, tell me about it. Me too. So I get the dad. My back hurts, and I think he's an inch taller the next day. So
Jeez.
yeah, so he's going through some growing pains. But we're excited for him too.
Good. Did you coach anywhere else before you came to South?
No.
Okay.
Actually, met Duff at a wedding years and years ago.
Oh, wow.
We got talking football, and actually his D-line coach was going to step down the following year. So he said, hey, gave me a call, and the rest is history. 14
Beautiful.
years later. So
When you're doing the special team side of the ball,
Right.
how do you get it stressed to the kids that, hey, it might only seem like a handful of plays in the
Right.
game, but these are game changing. They're game changers. They're momentum changers.
Absolutely. I mean, when we're in the film room, we show special teams all the time and how the big plays happen. And, you know, we really stress, not even on the special teams, all across the board, every play you got, you know, even if you're a backside, you know, a backside block, you know, you got to make that block. And there was times I remember, you know, the Browns, you know, Webster Slaughter doesn't make his block, and that's what created the fumble of the Browns how many years ago.
We
you
were
know?
just talking about that today.
So yeah, we show that clip all the time, and that's, you know, really, they're like, oh man. But yeah, so that's how important it is. And we do a lot of our starters are kind of our special teams. You know, beginning of the season when it's really, really hot, we try to get them a break, but usually it's usually our starting linebackers and safeties, you know, hauling butt down the field to make a tackle. So
What would you say is the hallmark of your special teams group,
no man,
or the thing that defines them? Maybe that's a better way to ask the question.
I think they like to rattle heads. I mean, they're some tough kids, man, and they hit another gear when it's time to you know, get down there and make a tackle, and it's pretty impressive to see because, you know, you don't have it all the time. You know, some guys a little more timid, and then there's guys that just, no, I'm gonna lay you out.
And sometimes the timid guys, they get hit once, and then they become a bit more aggressive,
Exactly.
and it helps.
Yeah, that hurts.
Yeah,
let's not do
It's
that
like
again.
that whole
Exactly.
9 yards thing.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah,
He shot me in the back, so I didn't like him very much
No,
after
not
that.
at all.
right. So my big thing is on kickoff. It's like, hey, why don't you run past them? Run fast enough to get past them, and you don't get blocked. Like, oh, really?
There you go.
Yeah. Why don't we try that this time?
Exactly.
So yeah.
So, Coach, what do you think? Again, you guys are coming off a little bit of a tough season.
Sure.
As you said, you have your kicker coming back, which always helps. And,
Right.
and again, historically, South has always had very, very solid kickers.
Right.
How many games do you think that you guys can maybe change an outcome with your unit this year?
I tell you what, our record last year was not. I think we won a lot more games than just one. I mean, we literally lost a couple games down the last minute or two. So 1-9. I mean, you know, that nobody wants to hear that. But I think we're going to be. I mean, these kids are working their tails off, and I am so excited for these guys. I don't think it's a 1-9 year, just because I know we were so close on a couple of the games last year. But I think people are going to be surprised with us this year because we got some weapons, and you know, we're really excited. So the kids are just unbelievable. So.
And outside of North, I know last 5, 6, 7 years, you guys have developed a nice little rivalry opening weekend with NDCL.
Right.
Anybody else that on this schedule that stands out just a little bit more? And it's a tough schedule. It always has been.
Yeah.
When you were in the pack. It is now in the Western Reserve Conference.
Right. So. Well, I tell you, even when I was playing, you know, Mayfield's always a tough one. You know, that's, you know, we were playing Menor back when I was playing, and we always had Menor week. You know, that's not happening with us anymore. But Mayfield was always a tough one, and NDCL seems like that's always a tough one. You know, so there's no more easy games for us.
Right.
You know, so it's, every week is a challenge, and it's exciting. You know, so.
Well, we wish you the very best of luck, Coach. We thank you for taking a couple of minutes
thank
to
you.
talk to us.
Thank you. I tell you what,
And tell your son, you
Thank you
know,
and good luck, Coach.
just tell him to stay as thin as he can for as long as he can.
Oh, absolutely. No, he knows that. If I could say one thing about the gentleman, the young men, just today, you know, we were prepping the field 7 a.m. this morning, and we had practice, and then we have our IC Immaculate Conception Church had their Oktoberfest over the weekend.
Yes.
And there was about 30 of these guys. I see the 4 of the guys that are here today. They've been doing Rebel football since 7 a.m. this morning, and it just, you know, I'd like to give them a shout out. That, I mean, they've really bought into the program, and we had about 30 people helping.
Clean up,
we
cleanup
thought-
is no picnic. That's for
we
sure.
were told it was tables and chairs, and we ended up tearing the whole place down for him. So in about a 2-hour period. So
Is Jeff Winrod still over there?
I just talked to Jeff about 2 hours ago.
Yeah.
So
Tell him to take it easy on themselves, guys.
well,
man.
I tell you, they were getting stuff done so fast that they were like, "Oh man, can we try this?" And you get that done in 2 minutes. Oh man, can we try this? So like I say, they worked their tails off, and I can't say enough about these young guys. So
Absolutely. I mean, we appreciate you guys taking the time because, again, it's Pat said we know it's a long day for you guys.
Yeah.
It's a long day for them. And, again, you guys haven't even started into your longest days when doubles start. Part of why we were trying to, try to do these things in July here to get out ahead of that a little bit. But we appreciate your time. Absolutely shout your guys out because that's the stuff that people don't recognize. I mean, Danny asked them what they do for fun.
Right.
There's fun, there's football, there's studies.
Right.
And yet these guys still find ways to get other stuff done and be pillars in the community and,
Right.
and contributors in the community, which is huge.
Right, right.
So
All right, guys. Thank you very
really
much.
appreciate
All
it,
right.
Coach. Thank you much.
Good luck, Coach.
Thank you.
Who we got now?
We're going to get a player now.
Another player.
Yes, it's going to be one of the linebackers.
Right now.
Which one, though?
Yes. Which linebacker do we have with us now?
I play outside linebacker. We call it Bear.
Okay.
Bear, what's your name?
So this is Cameron, right?
Cameron.
All right. Cameron, thanks for being here. Really appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
So being the Bear linebacker, what does that mean as far as the schemes go?
Well, I'm outside. I mostly read run, but I got like cuff drop on pass. But it's a new position for me. I played safety last year. So
Oh, okay. So what are the challenges that you see now getting a new, playing a new position now?
well, I'm already learning it. It's similar in a way because I'm still heavy run,
Okay.
but pass too. It's pretty similar.
Oh, okay. Good.
Do you guys find in the teams that you play against that they run the ball more or they pass the ball more?
Most teams run, to be honest. We're more of a passing team, I feel like, but I feel like our opponents run more.
So defensively, what do you think you guys are going to have? What are you guys going to have to do as a unit to help get you guys? Obviously last year was a rough year, a couple rough finishes. What's it going to take to finish those games off, get that next step, and hopefully get to a spot in Week 11 when you guys are on the schedule still?
We just got to stick together. Things go wrong. We just got to step up, forget about it. Next play mentality. Things happen.
Talk about your fellow seniors and the leadership that you think you guys provide to the program to help move things in the right direction this year.
We're definitely going to go in the right direction. These guys behind me, Drew, Chevler, Joe Lang, Tony, we've all been playing 3 years, getting some varsity minutes. We're ready. We're ready.
Any desire to play at the next level?
I don't know. I'm undecided. Let's see how this season ends.
Okay. Any idea what you want to study at college?
Yeah, I'm thinking business.
Okay.
What's your favorite part about playing defense?
I like to hit.
I
like to hit.
This is my kind of guy here, Danny. See?
I
See,
love to hit.
That's the first question too that's actually said it out loud. Fantastic
Yeah,
answer.
and
Now,
the
are
7 shows we've done, nobody on the defensive side has lit up quite the way he just
Right,
did when
right,
he answered
right.
that question. We
Well,
got some enthusiastic answers, but not quite like
I like
that.
making plays, all that. I like to
I
hit.
like to hit,
That's
yeah.
exactly it.
So I take it you kind of play a bit of the role on the special teams with the kickoff coverage and
Yeah.
punt coverage too
Yeah.
as well.
I have since sophomore year.
Oh yeah, excellent. That's definitely the way to be. It's always a great place to contribute.
Yeah.
Well, Cameron, we appreciate you taking a couple of minutes to talk to us, and I know it's been a very long day as coach.
You know what? I got one more.
Oh, you got one
I
more?
got one
Okay,
more,
there you
though. The
go.
one I got is are you one of these Fortnite kids as well?
Oh, yeah. I love playing with them.
Danny, everybody is,
I know.
man.
Yeah.
Just take it. Well, eventually someone's going to say no.
Hey,
so you gotta
PlayStation
find
over Xbox, though.
it. Yeah.
Oh, them's fighting words for some people.
To follow up on Danny's question, favorite thing to do away from the field when you're away from football, away from studies, you got a little bit of time to yourself, and you're not playing Fortnite.
Just hanging with my friends.
Okay.
Well,
playing
I'm going to
basketball.
ask a Fortnite question.
Go ahead. It means 2 weeks, by the way.
Huh?
Pat. Fortnite is 2
Yeah,
weeks.
it is.
Yeah.
I know. I have a Fortnite story for you someday.
Okay, good.
Not the game.
No, I
Speaking to
I
somebody.
kind of figured that.
Who's the best Fortnite player at Willoughby South? Or just on the football program? Who's the best?
Drew Shepler's pretty good. My brother's pretty good.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, there you go.
Excellent. Well, hey, thanks for being on.
Thank you.
Appreciate the time. Good luck.
Yeah,
everybody.
good luck to you.
Hey, good
And
luck,
hit
buddy.
somebody, man.
Oh, don't worry.
Yeah.
Don't worry. You can count on that.
All right.
All right. When we're at the game, I'm gonna point you out.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Fantastic. All right.
I've had a lot of favorites on this show. That's one of my favorites right there.
Yeah, he's a good one.
That was fantastic.
All right, so now we're going to get the offensive coordinator.
All right. Some talks about the defensive side of the ball. So now here we are with Scott Pavalko, the offensive coordinator. Did I get that last name right?
Yeah, you did. You nailed it. That's a great job.
Thank you, man.
Beautiful.
He's been whispering it to himself
Is
for
that
about
what
20
it is?
minutes.
So how many years have you been with the program now?
That's a good question. I think this is my 7th year at Willoughby South.
Okay.
My 16th year coaching now, so I've been coaching for a long time.
Where else have you coached?
I started at Eastlake North when I was first out of college, and then I was there about 6 or 7 years.
Okay.
My college roommate was actually the head coach of Riverside, so he talked me into going over there for a year. And then I was at Lake Catholic in 2010, and that's when I came over here.
Danny's a Lake Catholic grad.
Yep. So you worked with Bill Sowers over there as
Yep.
well?
Yeah, Bill Sowers, Mike Bell was the head coach. Yeah, I coached D-line over there when he was there. So.
Okay. So what are you guys going to have to do offensively to get things over? To get things really going for the team this year? Obviously, rough year last year, a couple of rough endings in that. What's the offense side going to have to do on their part to make this a successful season for South?
I think offensively we really have to get it started. I mean, I think our team's a big momentum team. I think offensively we kind of feed off our offense a little bit, and I think if we get rolling early and get a couple of points on the board, a couple of touchdowns on the board early, I think that really motivates and pushes our team a little bit. And so I think offensively it's important for us to start fast and to get off to a good start pretty much on a daily basis. I mean, the good thing about it is even being a 1-9 season last year, we had a lot of sophomores playing, a lot of sophomores, a lot of juniors. So we return a lot of players, a lot of our skill position too. So I think they're ready to step up. It's actually kind of exciting because I think they're ready to step up and make big time this year.
If we heard correctly earlier, you're going to have a new quarterback this year.
Yeah.
Tell us a little about that young man and what he brings to the table for you guys.
As of right now, he's going to be a junior this year. He'll be starting this year. He's slated to start right now. Obviously, we got camps and everything else like that. His name's Justin Grossel. We look for big things out of this kid. I mean, he very good head on his shoulders. Looks like he has very good command of our offense right now, and he's doing a nice job progressing the way we need him to progress on a daily basis right now, through 7-on-7s and things like that. So it'll be interesting. It always changes the game when you put the pads on and everything, and bullets become live, so to speak. So we'll see how that works, and hopefully he keeps progressing in things. I look to see big things out of this kid. I think he could be one of the good ones.
Without giving away trade secrets,
I'll tell you anything.
What can we expect to see from the Rebel offense this year?
Well, for the first time in a while, we'll be mostly 11 personnel with the tight end. So you had the first kid up here, that Drew Shepler. He's a big-bodied kid, man. And he's a good-looking tight end. It's a good target over the middle of the field there. And I think that could be a big help to us, especially run game-wise. I think that ends a little bit of element to our run game. That's been maybe missing for the last couple of years. Plus, that's a great target for a young quarterback to throw to, and very intermediate passing that could be easy, completions to get his confidence up too.
Size-wise, he reminds me a little bit of Reggie Kendig, who my one son played with.
Yeah, I would say so. He might be just a little bit thicker. Reggie might have been a little faster, but there's give and take for different things. But yeah, he's very, very similar to Reggie.
Okay.
Go ahead. Okay. I was going to say, what is you guys have always kind of been known as I guess outwardly anyway, a pass-first kind of offense. But you've had some fantastic running backs over the last, decade or so.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
So how do you feel as a coach that you can balance that and help the team move the ball?
Balancing it is a key to any kind of successful offense. You have to have that kind of balance. And any spread coach out there that likes to throw the ball will tell you that our offense runs predicated on the run game. I mean, it really is. If you have a good run game, it opens everything up. If you don't, they get to man up your receivers, play too high safeties, things of that nature, and it almost makes it impossible to throw the ball. So you have to start with a significant run game in order to open all that stuff up. And the minute you open that, it's just floodgates from there. But it's just a matter of you have to establish the run first. That way you get that opening and you can take advantage of that space out there.
And as far as the space goes, tell us a little bit about your receiving core that's coming back, and maybe somebody that not everybody might be familiar with that watches South, but might make a jump up this year.
Yeah, we got, like I said, we started a lot of sophomores last year, and there's two significant sophomores that we're really excited about with Rico Small and Danny Gallagher. Danny Gallagher was our leading pass catcher last year, led the team in catches, touchdowns, things of that nature. I think they're poised to have a phenomenal year, both of them, in all honesty. Rico's made huge jumps as far as route development and route running and things of that nature, and I think he could be good there. And we got another kid, came out last year, had battled injuries a little bit, a kid by the name of Xavier Hops. That will be our third receiver. Kid's 6'4", 6'5" kid, basketball player, can jump out of the gym. So you add that to the mix of our speedy, kind of smaller receivers. It's a dangerous combination. I'm actually really quite excited about our receiving core this year. I think, throw Drew Shepler in there at that position, that tight end too. I think we could be very dangerous.
Talk a little bit about the guys up front. What do you have coming back? What kind of size do you have?
We were just talking about that today. We're a little bit undersized, but I tell you what, it will be South all for probably 6, 7.
So there's no Nick Urban or Kyle
No,
Ritz there?
Say, for exception of about 1 year. Kyle Ritz, I always forget about him. That's when I first started. But that Nick Urban, David Bradshaw,
Right.
that year, those kids were pretty big. But with the exception of those years, we've always kind of had an undersized line, so to speak. So we've been in that mold, and it's kind of that way again. We got a lot of young kids and a lot of kids battling for positions right now on the offensive line. But I think, offensive line is always a big question mark in high school football because you can never just develop it. And I played offensive line my whole life. I was an offensive lineman in high school and in college and things like that. And it's always a significant jump between junior year and senior year. And it's always those seniors that you never thought would play for you that make that significant jump from where did this kid come from, and that kind of stuff. So you're always looking for those bodies. We're a little bit undersized up front. We have one returning starter. We got another one has seen some time varsity, but there's 3 others that have never seen a down of varsity football. So it's just a matter of if those 5 can get it back together. There's a couple kids in there that could be significant in size. We got a kid by the name of Parth Patel. That's a pretty good big kid. The returning starter is Michael Raymer. He phenomenal for us as a junior. He's one of those kids that we kind of baptism by fire type of thing where we just kind of threw him in there. He never played it down of it before, and he did a heck of a job for us last year. So he's our returning starter, and we look forward to that.
Okay. What's been your favorite thing about being a coach at South? What has been your favorite thing over these last 7 seasons?
The community, the kids, they're great to coach. They're always come to work. It's a fun atmosphere. Coach Duffy does a fantastic job with the team, and it always brings that energy to it. And it's just been a pleasure to coach. Plus, being offense coordinator with the offense that we run and the offense that Coach Duffy wants to implement, it's all wide open, and it's a lot of fun to call. So, I mean, it's a lot of fun there, implementing that stuff and putting your mark on that.
And the community, even in a year like last year, the community has always come out and support.
Oh, yeah, always.
You always 90% full on the south side whenever you guys are playing at home. And, that's the good part of it. That, come hell or high water, they're going to be there. Your kids are going to get to play in front of a decent sized crowd, which helps. And, it's a crowd that when you guys get rolling really gets a little rambunctious.
And it could be sniffing too.
Yeah.
I mean, they get loud, and you're, like you said, crazy. And like you said, in bad times, there's a lot of people there, a lot of kids, and from our student body that come. And then when it's good times, man, that place is packed.
Yes.
Some of the things that we've noticed over doing these shows is a lot of the places. Danny brought this up the other day. The facilities are changing for the better. What's it like, honestly, to be a coach at Willoughby South, where by game 3 it's no longer a mud pit?
Well, but now they have
the turf now.
Yeah,
it's got to be interesting as a coach to have coached in the way that used to be and how it is now.
Yeah, the running joke was, I don't know if you guys remember. You remember the helicopter that came and drive the field one year?
Yeah.
I'd never seen anything like that before. I mean, it was just absolutely crazy. But you have to do that to be able to have that home game because it's a mud pit, and here you are playing the team that you're faster than, and you have these better athletes, yet you can't expose that aspect of it because you're playing in a mud pit. And it's very nice that that never has to be the issue. And
it was always funny watching Friday Night Touchdown or one of the other highlight shows where, everybody that was on turf was in nice, clean uniforms like they never played, and you guys look like you've never stopped playing.
see poor Kareem Hunt all dressed in mud everywhere. Yeah. I remember those videos.
So we appreciate you taking a few minutes, Coach, and we wish you the best of luck this season.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you guys for having me.
Thank you.
So next up is going to be the final player, Tony D'Alferetti. Imagine that, an Italian kid playing at Willoughby South.
Right.
It sounds like an Irish last name to me.
No, I think it's Italian.
Middle linebacker, senior Tony D'Alferetti. Tony, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, no problem.
Do you play on the offensive side of the ball at all?
Not really, no. I
No?
haven't played much since I've been in high school, really.
Okay.
So being middle linebacker, you're basically, like they like to say, the quarterback of the defense.
All right.
What is it like now, you being a senior, now that you've got some experience under your belt with that? What is that going to mean for you coming into this season as far as what contributions you're going to make to the defense to get that, to get you guys over the hump and over the next level?
Honestly, I think I have a big responsibility this year, and just leading my defense in the right direction, not looking back, and just keep going. And I think it'll be a good year because we have a lot of cats coming back, and it's just going to be a good year. Good year.
Any additional pressure on you being the leader of that linebacking crew? Because as I mentioned earlier, I've seen a lot of Rebel football over the year because my nephew played for Coach Duff. And on the defensive side of the ball, that linebacking core, whether you guys were having a good year or bad year, that linebacking core was always the hallmark of the defense. So being the leader of that crew, what does that mean to you?
It means a lot because I grew up watching those guys do the same thing and always wanted to be in that position. Now that I finally am, I feel like I could have a good shot this year and really continuing the Rebel linebacker position and just keep going.
What do you bring to the middle of the field that opponents have to kind of gear up for?
Honestly, my best skill or trade would be maybe blitzing. I'm pretty quick with the big linemen. Honestly, they can't guard that fast. So once I'm back there, it's just a wrap. Honestly. So.
You have some pretty big boys in front of you creating.
Oh yeah. We got a lot of good talent on that line this year.
Okay.
Yeah.
They can disrupt, so you can go make plays.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly.
So besides yourself, who are going to be some of those key guys up front and around you there on that defensive side of the ball?
We have a lot of good guys actually. We have Joe Lang. He was up here. Another good guy is going to be Nate Tech. He's phenomenal. He's big. He's gonna have a lot of double teams on him, which is going to be good for the linebackers too because it'll give us more open space to look. And in the backfield, we got Cam Vine. He just came up here. Drew Shepler is also on the D line. He's gonna be nice seeing him in a new position, doing even better things this year.
Interested in playing at the next level?
I've been asked that, but I'm not quite sure what I'm doing yet. I'm just focused on now what's in front of me.
Okay.
What will be a successful year for not only the team but for you personally?
I'd just like to see my team win some games and possibly go to the playoffs because it's been a while since South has been there. So
it's been a four-year drought. It's
right.
A little bit uncharacteristic for you guys, especially during Coach Duff's tenure. It's a lot more time in the playoffs than out of the playoffs, so that's got to be a big driver for you guys.
Yeah. So when you're not in the classroom, when you're not on the field practicing, what do you like to do for fun? What do you like to do just to relax? Or
I just like to hang out with my friends, catch up, and what friends do, just hang out, maybe go lift, maybe just play football at the field. Who knows? I don't know.
What? You mean outside?
Yeah.
That's fantastic, man.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Thanks,
I hope
man.
you drag as many of your friends out there to play too.
Right.
You play Fortnite?
Not really.
Awesome.
No.
We got the guy for the show.
We got him.
We got the show. We got a show for you.
We got
a show for you. That's outstanding.
Well, we appreciate you taking a few minutes. I know it's been a very, very, very long day for you guys, and we wish you the best of luck, and go Rebs.
Thanks. Yeah.
Thank you. Good luck to you
good
this
luck,
year.
man. Good luck.
And now I think we're going to get the
Is
man
it
in
time?
charge.
It's time.
It's time.
It's
time. It's that time. I think we're going to get Coach Duff here.
Yeah. There we go.
Bueller, anyone? There he goes.
There's Coach Duff.
the man of the hour. Yes.
We're ready. Are you ready?
How these guys been good?
Good, real good.
Fantastic.
They set the bar pretty high for you, Coach.
All right, we'll see what we can do.
All right.
All right.
So we are now joined by Coach Matt Duffy. Coach Duffy entering his 16th season. He's the winningest coach in South history. Knocked off another pretty successful guy in Jim Chapman, who happened to be the coach at my alma mater when I was there at Case Western. He had 101 wins. You have 103 wins. Again, going into your 16th season. I guess the first question for me is you're 14-1 against North. You've won 13 straight. What does that rivalry mean to you? What does it mean to the players, and what does it mean to the school?
Well, you know what, I'll tell you. When I first got here early on, that I think the game has taken on a little bit of a different animal. You know, early on it was a really kind of a rough rivalry. Not a lot of, what do you want to say?
Love lost?
Yes. No love lost there. And, you know, over the years it's really developed into a really good rivalry. And, you know, on both sides of the ball, I've known the head coaches there as I do now. Sean Todd and I are good friends, and Mike Bell before that, and Nick Tolt before him. And we had become friends over the years. So the game has kind of taken on a different complexion. You know, obviously winning the way we have against them. I can go back to when I first started at Willoughby South in 2003, and it was doubles, and we broke, and they said beat North. And I thought, well, holy heck, we have Columbus Bishop Watterson coming here in 10 days. I'm not real worried about these guys yet,
Right.
but it kind of became that thing. Hey, manage that game when it comes. It's very big to our kids and obviously the community. And, now because there's such good relationships, it's just a real healthy rivalry. And for whatever reason, I think winning like we haven't it, our kids take that real personally. It's kind of become that we don't want to be the group of young men that goes away. I don't push it real hard that week, just like any game. I think that's how we look at it, but I think that they understand that Friday night before, but we don't talk about it. I tell the kids, we're not on a mission to beat East Lake North. Those guys are our allies 9 out of 10 weeks, and think the world of them and Sean, what he's done, and for them to get in the first time in school history last year couldn't happen to a better guy who's doing it the right way. So it means a whole lot, but it means a whole lot for 6 days a year.
Right.
And other than that, we don't treat it any differently, and our kids kind of understand that we've got a lot of things that we've got to accomplish. So it's an awesome rivalry. It's fun now, and we hope we keep trudging along and win those games. But there's no question, our kids get on a different level for that game. And no magic by me. They just do. They do that by themselves.
And again, you're right. Everybody kind of forgets. You want them to win the other 9 weeks of the year.
Absolutely.
Because with the playoff system, it helps you a tremendous amount if your opponents are winning games. So
hey, I'd flip 1-9 for 9-1 and a loss to them. In a heartbeat.
If it meant week 11, absolutely.
Hey, so we want to win the game, and it's important. I'll never discredit that because I think it's a neat rivalry that we've got going. But we got to keep our minds right, and there's a lot to do before that. And when that time comes, our kids they'll elevate themselves. And we've got some coaches on the staff that are North guys or coached at North, and some different people that have been around. I've got 3 guys that are South graduates on my staff, so it means a little bit more to all of them. I'm a Mayfield guy, so not as much internally, but it's become that, and hopefully we can keep on winning.
So does that Mayfield game for you then hold a little bit of
it
special
does.
significance?
Sure, it does. Absolutely. Especially because Larry Pino was the head coach there, and he was the offensive line coach when I was there under Byron Morgan.
And there's been some great games in that series too.
You know what? That's been a heck of a series as well. It's been a dogfight. I think we're literally 500 with those guys over the last however many years, and there's a little edge to me. That game a little bit. That's human nature, and the guys, I know them real well. Coach Bandy, we're buddies too, and I know a lot of the guys on the staff are Mayfield guys, and Coach Paglia was over there, who was the head coach, and just know a lot of those coaches. So there's a little edge to it. Coach Nail, who was my basketball coach back in 1990, he's on the staff still, so we have fun with it. But there's no question. So that's where I understand and I get it, how much it means to our kids and the North kids, and so I buy into that for 6 days a year. And certainly I have a little edge to me come Mayfield Week because, that's where I'm from, and those coaches are still around. So it's good. It's good stuff.
So, Coach, last season, a little uncharacteristic for you guys, obviously. You guys have done a lot of winning over the years. What do you think it's going to take, sans the just putting the record up on the wall, what's it going to take to get this group to where you would like to see a Willoughby South program go?
I think as long as the kids buy into and the coaches buy into the fact that we just have to keep improving. Last year was really tough, but I think humility is good for everybody. I think it's good for parents. I think it's good for coaches. I think it's good for coaches' wives. I think it's good for my own children.
Which is an underrated position, right, Coach? If you want to give a shout out to your wife here.
It's like 1 and 1A.
I've been a near unbearable human being since the end of November last year. So I think, certainly you don't want to do that. But just a lot of things compiled, and I will start by saying, listen, the kids I had last year as seniors are fantastic kids. And we just didn't have the right mix of kids. And, we had a lot of really good teams we played against, and, probably should have been, we'll blame it on Coach Duffy. It should have been a 5-5, 4-6 type of year. And we just didn't get it done. So that's on me. But, it's also motivating. There's a little bit more, in the coach's office, it's a little bit tighter in the meetings. It's a little bit more, hey, this isn't who we are, and we're going to go up and down like every other school, and have some ups and downs, but 1-9 just is not acceptable. And, I've been able to get more out of my assistant coaches, more out of myself. Sometimes, you get comfortable, and I don't only mean me or my assistants, but the players. And, there's an edge to our kids right now, and they understand that that's just not an acceptable deal. And I'm not saying we've got to be 8-2, 9-1, 10-0, but 1-9 is unacceptable. And I think our kids know that, and I think our assistant coaches know that, and we're working hard to get that thing flipped and give these kids and have some fun with them. A great group of parents, great group of kids. I'm excited about the guys we have.
One thing that we've kind of discussed with a few of the other coaches around has always been the support that you're getting from, the parents and the families and the community in general. How big has that been, even in a down year like last year? What has that meant for you guys?
Well, it's big. It's funny you ask that, because there's a mom and a dad here of one of the kids you interviewed earlier, and we were talking, and you learn that there's so many things that equal wins. And when you talk about, when you say, hey, show up today our kids, we have practice, and I said, hey guys, Immaculate Conception, Oktoberfest is down. How many kids can we get there to help out and clean up the stuff? And 35, 40 kids are there. That says a lot. It may sound like it doesn't, but it does, because that means there's a bunch of parents saying, hey, get your tail up there, do a little bit for your community. When we had a picnic, probably 250, 300 people last week, and that means so much, and it may seem like so little, but when you have the support, I've had great support from our parents over the years. And I can sense now that we've got a really good group of parents, just like we had last year and the years before, but there are things that you just look at as a coach. You look at a fundraiser, and if your fundraiser goes well, as crazy as it sounds, at the high school level, it says a lot about what your team might do, because people are buying in. They're buying into the whole thing, and they understand it's not just Friday night for 10 weeks or 11 or 12 or whatever it may be. They're bought in, and they understand it's a program, and they want to put time in. So all of those things mean a lot, and I'm seeing a lot of those positive signs. So that makes me excited a little bit. And my daughters now, I got a 10 and a 7-year-old. They're fired up for, I said, Dad, we 1-9. What do you think, Dad? I said, I hope not. I don't have my dog anymore, so I can't get loved by him. But, there's momentum going, and so those things matter a lot. It's amazing you ask it, and I think a great question, but I'm seeing those signs, and those are important things to me.
Coach, you talk about the kids who were here last year and the year before, and everybody will point to, hey, you coach Kareem Hunt, right? That kind of makes you look pretty good. But you've sent guys over the years. You've sent a number of guys to all different levels. You got the Nick Urbans, you got guys who went to play to Baldwin Wallace and John Carroll and some Division II guys. What's the one thing that you hope somebody who played for you takes with them, A, to the next level, but maybe more importantly, B, takes into life with them to be successful?
Well, I think the biggest thing is that I think that football is, it's one of those sports where the commitment, the reason the numbers are down, people want to talk about a lot of reasons, but it's just such a hard commitment, and it's hard to find those kids. So I think if they take from our program that we're going to grind 11 months a year, we're going to grind 4 days a week, and we're going to pound you, and we're going to get after you. Now, we're not the, in practice, in season, pounding the heck out of kids. We hit one day a year. It'll be the first Saturday in our doubles. But I think if they just take that it takes hard work to do things, and for them to understand that there are people and adults outside of their family that truly love them and care about what they do and how successful they are with the different, dynamic of kids we have at our place, socioeconomically, racially, it doesn't matter. There's just so many differences in so many different families. Just that trust factor. And, there's nothing better than a kid coming back. I actually heard a comment about, on Friday nights at Willoughby South, there are a ton of former players on the sideline. And, it was kind of I don't know if we really like that. And I thought, man, that's what we're about.
Yeah.
This is family forever. These kids that are seniors for me, I think this is the first group that maybe was alive. It's been a while. They were alive when we started doing this at South. And I've got kids so many years back come and just to get a hug from them. And, and them know that, hey, there are people that care about you, and this is how you treat people. And, let's win games. Let's try to put kids in the next level. That's all important. But I can't tell how many kids didn't go to college or are in the service or are doing whatever, and those kids come back all the time. And, to me, that's the measure of it. And in that standpoint, I think we're a 10-0 football team because we got a ton of kids that want to come back and be around my assistant coaches and our athletic directors and principals and those types of people. So that means a lot to me. So as long as they understand it's extended family, and I think that's big. I think that's one of the biggest things we're doing.
We were joking a little bit earlier with Scott about the facility change. Since we were talking about the good old days of watching you guys on television where you guys would be caked in mud from start to finish. What has that done for the overall performance of your program since you guys got the new facility?
Well, we got the turf last year and we went 1-9, so not so good. We've been complaining. No, you're right. I hear you a ton. There's a ton of buzz going on with the new building going up. Obviously, it's not going to be done until the fall of 19. But just the people, we got people lurking at practice, community guys coming in and walking the track and being around, just seeing, being curious. So it plays a large role. And I think moving forward, once we get into the new building, just from an educational standpoint, and then into the new weight rooms and locker rooms and coaches' offices, and it becomes, it's huge, and the kids are buzzing about it. And, it's neat. I had a guy come in, actually, Jeff Fox. You guys know Jeff. He's the head coach in Nordonia, was with me, and he came in and he said, Duff, wow. He said, this is as pretty as any stadium in the state of Ohio. And I said, yeah. And I said, the place over there on Stevens Boulevard is just as neat.
Yeah.
And they really are. They did a great job with them. And it's a ton. I mean, it really is unbelievable. What we were playing in 5 years ago was a disaster. Wins or losses, but with this thing, there's a whole new vibe. There's a whole new energy to it. We've had, kids are excited about it. The city's excited about it. The principals, everyone's just, kind of amping towards this year and next year when the building's open. And it's certainly a great position to be in. And I'm excited for the community. We had a picnic last week, and I had the fire chief, the police chief, the principal, our new building principal, our superintendent, and somebody I'm missing, the mayor. I can't forget the mayor. Mr. Fiala was there too. And there's just such an excitement of that, and a ton of people came, and so there's definitely brewing excitement. And I think at both ends of town, it's a really good thing and much needed.
It's got to probably help you guys with practice time too.
It does. It does. It really does.
Be more efficient.
It's a little bit tougher right now because we don't have the practice fields. We lost practice fields. Right. So we kind of bounce around. We only have the front field up on Shanklin and then the stadium. Once the middle school goes down, then we'll have 3 other practice fields. But for the most part, all summer we'll be on the turf. It makes practice so much better. Old guys like me, I'm not as sore. My back's better. It's a little warmer, but the kids like practicing in there. Once season starts, we'll be on the grass on Shanklin once a week. And then we'll be on the turf 4 days a week. We kind of share with the marching band and the soccer teams. And Tuesday's their day they play, so the band jumps on there that day. Everyone's working together. Everyone's excited. So it's going to add a different element. To me, it's a gorgeous, gorgeous stadium. And the school's going up. It's starting to close it in some more. And, I think what a place, and our kids love it. So it's definitely a neat thing going on.
So, Coach, one of the things you talked about in the question I asked you earlier, we talked about the 11-month grind and the commitment. And one of the subjects that's come up a little bit over the last couple of years is that high school football in the state of Ohio, although there's no spring ball, has kind of become a 12-month year-round commitment. Do you have thoughts on that? I mean, I know as a parent, we just kind of dealt with it. Our kids wanted to do it. They were committed to it. We knew we had a couple of weekends window where we could do a vacation. And other than that, our guys were up at school lifting and doing whatever they had to do in the summer to get ready because that's what they wanted to do.
Yeah. You know what? It's a great question. I think it's a little bit of a misnomer that it's kind of, it is. It's 11 months a year. We take 30 days off. Where I think that gets a little bit misunderstood is, the perception that it's a 12-month deal and so don't play in other sports. That's just not what it is.
Right.
Now, I will say this, and I'll be the first one to tell you, and I think anybody that's around our sport, if you play basketball, baseball, track, we will encourage it. We've got a bunch of kids on our team. But if you sit and play basketball, or you sit and run track, or you sit and play baseball, and you are not taking care of your body in the weight room year-round, you're in trouble. That's just where it's at. Actually, my cousin through marriage, Brian Pellegrini, who played with the Astros minor leagues,
Who's now the new head baseball coach,
yep.
right? Yeah.
And we talked a lot about
been
it.
on our show playing wiffle ball. Of all
Last
things.
year, yes.
He's, yeah. So we've already talked, and I've got the basketball coach Dougie Barber, who's a South graduate as well and a great player at Cleveland State and golf as well. You have to lift you around. I don't care what sport it is.
Right.
I don't care if it's men's sports, women's sports, ice skating. It doesn't matter. If you are not taking care of your body year-round, you're going to fall behind. So it's not so much, it's 12 months a year and don't play other sports. No. But the days of I'm going to go and spend time playing basketball, we all watch the NBA. We watch NCAA basketball. Those are dudes. And they're dudes because they're in the weight room, and so we're going to do something, moving forward. We're going to go morning lifts with all of our in-season kids next year, and Coach Barber's on board and Coach Pell's on board, and shake up the coaches so it's not before and after all year round, but our kids, you don't have to lift year round, but if you don't, I believe as a head coach, you're doing a disservice to your kids. If you want them to have a chance to go to college and play, whether it be for a scholarship, which there's not many of those, but and you're doing a disservice to them on a Friday night or a Saturday or a Tuesday, if it's basketball season, you have got to take care of your body year-round. Don't care what the sport is. So we're year-round. We encourage, I hope all our kids play basketball, baseball, track, but we got to get buy-in from everybody.
Well, it keeps the competitive edge up, too, to be playing other sports. If they're –
absolutely.
Again, I've always thought that one of the great things about high school sports is – outside of football, everything else is a cut sport.
Yep.
So stuff gets figured out for you.
Yep.
If you can play multiple sports, play them.
Yep.
If the writing's on the wall and you can't, then focus on whatever your passion is.
And it's a good topic because, you hear a lot from the outside sometimes, it's good to be competitive. I am all for it. I played basketball and I played baseball at Mayfield until my senior year. I ran track just to get ready for college football because I thought that would be better for me. But nowadays, the way the weight rooms go, it sounds, I don't know, unless you're a weight room guy and really see what's happening in high schools nowadays, it's crazy competitive in the weight room.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And if you're not, you're losing that battle. And we found a guy, the program we're doing right now, he's a former SEC guy that started a business in Chicago, and I got lucky and found him, and he's pumping workouts to us, and it's intense every day in the weight room. There's no, hey, 4 sets of 3 and do that. And, it's competitive edge in the weight room year round. So for those kids that aren't baseball or basketball guys, it's not like, man, they're missing out. They're not competing because that, like you said, all the other sports are cut sports for the most part. So, it's very competitive in the weight room. So we feel we're getting that thing through to them year round. If I could have all my kids being multiple sport athletes, I'd take it all day long.
Sure.
As long as they take care of the body.
Yep.
Absolutely.
So from a football perspective, Coach, you're going to start, I'm assuming a first year, at least what we've heard, maybe your starting quarterback. Tell us what you think he's going to need to do to be that starting quarterback.
Well, he's probably putting himself in the position to be the 1A guy right now, Justin Grossell. He's done a really nice job this offseason. Is taking care of his body in the weight room. I think is the biggest change. Last year, 150-pound puppy, and, he's not the tallest kid in the world, but he's now, from 5'10" to 150 pounds to 5'10", 175, 80 pounds he's put together. So he's taking care of his body, and that was probably my biggest concern. He's done that. And, I think the biggest thing is steps for him. I see a lot of really positive things out of him in practice. And, everything's new, whether it's, hey, we're going from an inside run period to a team period, that took a while. And then from a team period to here comes the Twinsburg Tigers and Mike Bell, and we're going to throw. And, he was nervous as nervous could be to start off. And by 4 or 5 passes, he's Coach, I'm just having fun now. So I think more than anything, he can do everything we need him to do. As they, the quote go, he's got all the throws. He can make any throw there is. Now it's just mentally getting the game to slow down Again, which I know is cliche, but it's just so true for the quarterback. We're doing a lot of things pre-snap and post-snap. We expect a lot of our kid, and he's getting there. There's certainly not a lack of talent. It's just going to be, one of those getting in the game and getting with the flow and taking a couple hits and making some mistakes. I think that's a big part of it. I think young quarterbacks have to make those mistakes to teach on that. And, but he has a lot of things that remind me of some of the former kids we've had. And I think that he has the skill set. And of course he's a 3, 5, or 4 better type kid. So just the patience with him. He's got some weapons to throw it to. We're getting that offensive line built. Only one returning starter there, but he has the tools, and we just got to make sure we can get those converted through the scrimmages. But there's nothing really that sets out, or he's got to work on this. It's just more experience. We got to take some lumps a little bit, hopefully for a quarter or two, and instead of a game or two. But I think once he gains that confidence as a young quarterback, he could be a pretty good one.
Will you have some experience in the backfield with him that will help him out?
Well, with the wideouts, yes. Not so much the running backs. We've got a young junior and a 2B senior who's down right now with a hamstring. And it's probably going to be a couple weeks before he comes back. He played a little bit for us last year, but not a whole lot of experience at the tailback spot. Certainly have some kids that could be pretty solid tailbacks. And then Danny Gallagher, who plays in the slot for us, will also run the ball a little bit. And so he's done that last year. So not a whole lot at the tailback spot. That's going to be something we're going to, looking at it right now, it's probably going to be a committee type of deal for those kids. But, up front and some of the older wide receivers that are around him, and Shepler, who you talked to earlier, is a great leader. He's been great to the young quarterback. So there's enough around him where people feel comfortable. But the tailback spot is just we're young. We got young kids and one senior coming back. But other than that, we're young. And like I said, I think that's going to be a position by committee.
What would define a successful season for you guys this year, Coach?
Wow, that's a great question. For us, at our place, it has been for as many years I've been there. That's get the kids to week 11 and give them a chance to compete for a state championship. We're not going to back off that. I know it's been 2 years now, 3 years now since we've been there, but that 5-5 year 2 years ago was, gosh darn it, same thing.
That could have been a 7-3, 8-2
real
year,
easy,
and
we're
playing
in
week
it,
11, yeah.
And everyone's confetti and everyone's excited, but the deal is this: we're playing to go to the state playoffs, and if you win your conference, which is a pretty good conference we're in, that's going to take care of itself. My guess is this year out of our conference are going to be 3 teams minimum that'll play in week 11, and that's where our kids. That's what they talk about, and that's the mentality. It's if we don't, is it unsuccessful? I don't know. I think there's maybe some too much put into that, if that's
okay.
fair.
Yeah.
You can have a lot of success. It's high school football. And there's a lot of things that mean a lot, and setting your kids up and getting them in college and helping them get there. So there's a lot of other ways to measure success.
Right.
If you talk to me again about X's and O's and that sort of thing, we want to be a state playoff football team. But I certainly, we were 1-9 last year. And although that's hard, man, I tell you what, those kids were awesome. And we've got kids all over the country in college and doing great things. And 3 of them are in the military doing great things. And, we got a lot of guys that have played for us over the years, state playoffs or not, that are doing unbelievably good things. And so tough question.
Including the reigning offensive rookie of the year.
Yeah, he's not bad.
So a better way to state it would be that week 11's a goal, but
Yeah.
you can be successful even if week 11's not achieved.
Sure.
Good enough.
Sure. And that's a balance. It really is a balance. But our kids are waking up every day, and our coaches are waking up every day. We got to find a way to get enough to get there, because I think as a head coach, that's what you just want the kids to have a chance.
Yep.
Hey guys, here's week 11. We're waking up and we're trying to win a state championship. Whether you play in it or you play one game, doesn't matter. And that bar was set for a long time, and it's a mentality, and we're working hard to get back there. So we're excited about it.
Beautiful.
What has been your favorite thing about being at South for the time that you've been there? What has been your favorite part of it?
You guys asked good questions.
Sorry.
It's not our
Man.
first rodeo. Sorry. Yeah.
That's tough. You know what? I'm a people guy. So I would say, I've been through 6 principals, and they've all been fantastic. I've been through 4 athletic directors, and they've all been fantastic. The leadership's there. I met a Willoughby girl and had 2 beautiful daughters in this tenure. I'd have to say, like I said, it's probably the people, the community of it, and winning's good, and all that stuff is good, but there's just so much more to it, and I think this community offers such a great dynamic to our kids, and to be in a community where you have all kinds of different people and different things, and in the school, a lot of teachers are South graduates, and there's, I know a number of them from growing up, so. But I've been blessed with wonderful principals and wonderful. God bless Frank Platzaro. We just lost a few months ago. He was a wonderful guy, and he was my first athletic director. But and that my athletic director now is a Mayfield graduate. Jim Romino, he was my DC. So I've just really, really been lucky, I think, to have a lot of good people.
Pretty good athlete in his day too.
Jim
if I'm
was,
thinking of the right guy, right?
I won't tell him when you guys are going to air this. But Jim was a stud.
It's airing right now.
It's airing right now, but he can watch it anytime. So
well, he's getting ready to he's playing a member guest the next couple of days with his brother at Lake Forest Country Club. So, he was really good. He was behind me, so I didn't play with him, but really good athlete, and does a great job for us as athletic director. And I think at our place we just have enough good people where, if you ever get a cloudy person, I call them. There's enough good people around to kind of get people set on the straight and narrow, and I think we've had that. So I've had nothing. My staff has been unbelievable. The guys I've had, the guys that have retired, and the guys that are still coaching and moving on. So that's probably the best part of it. It's become home for me. It's become home for me.
Well, we appreciate you setting this up for us. I know this is kind of a family thing here, I'm guessing, right?
Yeah. This is my brother-in-law, Seamus and McPat Coyne.
Yep.
They've got this place, and we're plugging them, right?
Yeah.
We got
There's nothing wrong with that.
Oh, yeah. We have
You're fine at the venue. You plug them all you want.
Your father-in-law backed my brother's flag football team when they won the national title in '81. I'm sure you've heard about that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So, I know. I do. So, they've got this place here, the Wild Goose, and next door they have Fiona's, the coffee shop, and then down the road they've got the Morehouse, and then as you mentioned, my father-in-law, McMahon Vittantonio Funeral Home, McMahon Coyne Vittantonio Funeral Home, excuse me. He's got a place.
Mickey's one of the
and I went to high school with Tony Vittantonio on that side of the equation. So there we go. It all comes together,
Tony
Coach.
Well. And you said it. Mickey Coyne he's as good as they get.
Yes.
He's one of the people.
Yes.
When you asked me that question, so he's as good as they get, and this place is great to us, and it's fun. It's fun to have family here, and my wife's whole family are, obviously a big part of this community. And
she was a Lake Catholic girl, right?
She's a Lake Catholic girl, and the 2 brothers were Lake Catholic guys, and then Seamus was a South guy.
Yep.
He's the only one I like of the whole group.
He started at Lake. He
did. He did, as a matter of fact.
And he came to his senses.
There we go. I'm glad you said that, not me, Pat.
And he went back to South because of his first cousin, Johnny Pellegrini.
Yep.
Brian's oldest brother, who played at Carroll.
Yeah, Brian.
Brian, he was on our show too, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And his wife actually was a Lake Catholic girl as well.
Absolutely.
I think that
helps.
That helps.
Yes.
Well, we appreciate you setting this up for us, Coach, and we appreciate you bringing the kids. I know it's been a very long day for you guys, but we appreciate you having us here, and we wish you the best of luck in 2018.
Well, I appreciate it, and I was sorry I was a little bit of a pain in the butt to get a hold of. Terry gave me some business today on a text message, so I figured I better call him.
Got to screen them calls. It happens. Well, this has been Talkback Fans. I'm Pat Lyndon.
I'm Danny Boyce.
I'm Terry Heil.
And we'll see you
tomorrow. We'll see you tomorrow night. Regularly scheduled show.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Thank you. Have a good night. Peace.
Later.